Hi everybody and welcome back to the KK Zone. As always, I am Kara Kaufman, your host, coming at you right after the conclusion of the season opening series between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Unfortunately, the Yankees lost today. They could not pull out the series win. Their record drops to 1-2. The Blue Jays rise to 2-1. I mean, it's one series. You like to win the opening series of the year, but it's not always going to happen. The Blue Jays are a fun young team, but both teams really struggle to string together any offense in this series, which is a little surprising because that seems like it's not going to be their issue overall. An interesting note, the Blue Jays scored exactly 3 runs in all 3 of their games against the Yankees this weekend. That probably means nothing, but it is a weird fun fact. The final score was 3-1 Blue Jays. But in general, if the Yankees' opponents score 3 runs against them, I like the Yankees' odds on balance. They scored over 5 runs on average per game last season. They have one of the best offenses in the league. We haven't seen it yet, but it's there. So if pitching can do this, then I say overall pretty good. Before I do anything else, I want to shout out RotoWear yet again for another amazing t-shirt. That's baseball, Susan, because yeah, that is baseball. This is a shout out to the great John Sterling and Susan Waldman, who do the radio broadcasts for the Yankees. This is one of John's awesome catchphrases, because as he also says, as everyone also says, you can't predict baseball. Sometimes the unexpected thing happens, like 2 high-powered offenses combining to score a maximum of 5 runs and an average of 3 runs over the course of a 3-game series. Unusual, but that's baseball, Susan. Before I get to a few more items, let us do our quick 90-second recap of today's game. Ready, set, go. Rubber game of a 3-game set between the Yankees and Blue Jays in the Bronx today. Blue Jays win this one 3-1. Domingo Germán, the starter for the Yankees, hadn't pitched at all since 2019, and it showed today. He did not look sharp. He only made it through 3 innings because of a ridiculously high pitch count, and in those 3 innings, he gave up 4 hits and all 3 of the Blue Jays' runs, all on 2 mammoth home runs by Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Randall Grichuk. So that was not great, but then Michael King came in from the bullpen, and oh my goodness, was he incredible. He had a rough first inning there where he allowed a hit and a walk and a third batter reached by catcher's interference, but he got out of that unscathed, and from then on was so efficient. He sat down 16 batters straight at one point. That is bonkers and extremely, extremely good. He pitched the rest of the game for the Yanks, saving the bullpen, and was the hero of the day. If Mike King can pitch confidently and effectively like that, he's going to be a huge piece for the Yankees going forward. Not much on the offense side to talk about, but Clint Frazier gets the hustle award for today. He somehow made it to second on a bloop over the first baseman's head, got to third on a shallow fly ball, and then scored on a Gardner ground out, the only run of the day, manufactured by Mr. Clint Frazier. The good news for the Yankees offense is they didn't strike out very much today. The bad news is they also didn't get very many hits. We didn't love that. Fielding could have been crisper. We had the catcher's interference, as mentioned before by Gary Sanchez, and an error on Gleyber Torres that really probably should have been on Jay Bruce. Got to clean that up, but also the bats have to hit more at the appropriate times in the game to get some runs. Last thought is that the Blue Jays' Julian Merriweather, who now seems to have seized the closer role, is nasty. There you go, that'll do it. Final there is Blue Jays 3, Yankees 1. So that about sums it up. Not much more to say there. Not a lot happening in this game. Can't say enough about how great Mike King was, though. That could be a real huge boost for the Yankees bullpen if he can keep pitching the way he pitched today. Unbelievable. Again, as I said, a very good lineup. We also should note that at this point in the season, the Yankees are 1-2. It happens. Blue Jays are 2-1. But if you want to feel better, the first place team right now is the Baltimore Orioles. They just swept the Boston Red Sox at Fenway to open the year. So sucks to be Boston, and Baltimore not expected to be very good, but off to a flaming hot start, and that is who we face next. So we will see. Can they beat the Orioles? I'm going with yes, but we will find out. A programming note is that I won't have a getting to know the Orioles video because I have not yet found an Orioles fan to chat with me. If you are an Orioles fan, or if you know someone who's an Orioles fan, please send them my way. I would love to get to know more about the Birds. They have some interesting young players, and at this point, hey, they're winning the American League East at this present time. A couple of quick hits today. The first one, a really fun story out of Chicago. For the White Sox, they have a player named Yermin Mercedes, who I had never heard of before this week. I might be pronouncing his name wrong, and if I am, I'm very sorry. But he's about to be a household name because what did he do? He came out of nowhere. He'd been bouncing around independent ball, not organized baseball even, for many years. He made his major league debut with the White Sox on opening weekend here, and what happened? He went 8-for-8 to start his career. Every single one of his first 8 at-bats ended up in a hit, including he had a homer in one of them. These are not like cheap seeing eye singles here. He's legitimately getting hits. That is really rare, so rare in fact, that it has never been done in the modern era. So since 1900, nobody has gone 8-for-8 in their first 8 at-bats. So Yermin Mercedes is a record-setting guy for these White Sox. He's their third catcher, it seems like. He's been DH so far, so we'll have to keep a close eye on this kid because, wow, that's impressive. In slightly less good news in White Sox universe, Luis Robert, who is one of their stars in the outfield, great young hitter, had a breakout last year in his rookie year, gonna be great, came in to try to make a play on a shallow pop that probably should have been sure-handed shortstop Tim Anderson's ball, but called off Anderson, ran in, glove above head, tries to make catch, and the ball not only bounces out of his glove, but then bounces off his head and away. I only bring it up because this happens moderately rarely. These guys are incredible athletes, very talented. It's unusual to see that kind of goofy play happen where someone looks really silly, and so I just wanted to bring that up, not to make fun of Luis Robert, but to say baseball is fun and weird things happen every day, including bouncing a ball off your head. Next, you know I had to provide an update if there was going to be any follow-up on those amazing cleats that Bryce Harper was wearing for the Phillies opening day. Well, first of all, I've learned he probably didn't wear those cleats during the game. Those are pre-game cleats. I'm glad, because as I said, those are like a trip hazard to me. However, they were a tribute to the Philly Fanatic, and the Philly Fanatic, who is anything but ungrateful, showed his respect back to Bryce Harper with these fun cleats. First of all, the Fanatic's cleats are gigantic. That's like, I don't know who makes those, but well played. Second of all, adorable. These kind of remind me of those slippers that are like dogs, like you have the head of the dog by your toe, and it's like you're walking around with dogs in your feet. It's like he's wearing like mini Bryce Harpers on his feet. This is great. I love it. This little bromance between the Phillies' star right fielder and their mascot is delightful. Okay, just one more thing for me today, and this will take us into a bit of a baseball bingo situation. So that incident yesterday with the Reds and the Cardinals, I asked if we thought that it should count as a bench-clearing brawl. I just unilaterally decided that yes, it does. A couple of headlines have referred to it that way, so who am I to disagree with the baseball news media? No one. So, Matthew, you get to check off benches clearing brawl on the drama section of your baseball bingo card. Congratulations. Relatedly, Nick Castellanos, who was the instigator of what we're now calling a brawl, had a great quote about it. He and Yadi Molina, the longtime catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, were the ones that really got into it to start with, and when Castellanos was asked about it, this was his quote. "That guy could punch me in the face, and I'd still ask him for a signed jersey." Fantastic, fantastic quote, possibly quote of the week for Castellanos, and just shows, even in the heat of the moment, guys get mad at each other, but there are some guys, like Yadi Molina, who's been in the game for a long time, who are so well respected that even if you have a disagreement, you're still inside a fan of that guy. Love to see it. Okay, that's going to do it for me today. The baseball haiku for today's game is as follows. Herman was not sharp, but Mike King looked amazing. Could we score some runs? And I mean every word of it. And speaking of words, the quote for today comes from William Shakespeare, as many of them will, this from his play Timon of Athens. And it is as follows. We have seen better days. Well, Yankees fans, we have seen better days. It was not a great day for the team. We've also seen worse days. This could have been worse. A lot of positives come out of this series, particularly as pertains to the starting pitching and the relief pitching, mostly very positive. We welcome the Orioles to the Bronx for a 3-game series starting tomorrow, Monday, and hopefully the bats come alive against what we frankly expect to be one of the less good teams in the American League. I'm looking forward to seeing how they pull out of this, how they respond to the series lost today, hopefully with a good, positive, great, high-scoring game tomorrow. We will see. I will talk to you about it tomorrow after it happens, and until then, go Yanks.